hello there.
Okay.
We have to start. I'm Beth, and this is Basically Complicated, and we're talking about things. And this is Mark, Julie, and Evan.
Hi.
Bronkema.
Yes. Yes.
One time I didn't know it
Landis.
very well. And I was
Landis is
yes,
yours.
Nice job.
Beth.
Air 5?
Air 5.
Oh,
real
real.
real.
I just was like, I have dino arms. I don't know if I can get there.
Dino arms.
All right, so we're talking about awkward. Yeah, like.
I didn't feel like that.
Dino
arms. You guys.
Guys. So we're talking about awkward middle school moments, and we all got them, you know?
Everyone does.
Yeah.
Who would like
So
to
what are
share?
they?
Oh, should I share? Do I go first?
Well,
I'll go first.
Yeah.
100%.
Whoa. Yeah.
So I have two stories that stick out to me. The first was, did you guys ever do, like, this pen, is it getting, Evan's like getting hypnotized.
I was. The weirdest part is I really was. In that moment, I was like, tell me more.
I have a side job in hypnotism. Okay, so it was the 30-hour famine. Did you guys ever do that at church?
Oh, yeah. I did that in
Oh,
middle
yeah.
school. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so everyone from my church life is going to be like, oh my gosh. So I was like in 7th grade.
What's the 30-hour famine?
Oh, so sorry for the listeners that know. You fast for 30 days, and you are
30
hours.
30
hours.
30 hours.
7th graders like
You-
being hospitalized.
Right.
Okay, for 30 hours.
Which is why it's called the 30-hour famine, not 30-day famine.
That's why they call it that.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
it makes sense now. Proceed.
So it was like the first like boy girl like kind of you both sleep in the same room and there's a divider. Yeah.
We're like in
Yeah.
sync today right now.
And so there's like a divider between you and it's all good. But I remember like after the programming where like you're learning about the whole reason you're fasting is to understand like people in other nations that
Yep.
like are in poverty, to understand what
Yep.
they go through.
Yep.
And so I remember it was like after the programming and I liked a guy and we were like walking through the church like because no one was watching us, I guess. And like somehow we made it into the sanctuary. And then we were on a pew. And then we kissed in the pew, but we did it like Spider-Man style. And it was like it wasn't an intense kiss, Mom and Dad. And yes, this was at the church in Swartz Creek. Anyways, but I look back on that and just think like, oh, sweet baby. Like, what were you doing? Yeah.
Spider-Man kiss on a pew.
Yeah. So I was like,
This is the pew.
this is going to sound so awful. Are we going to need to re-record this?
No, I want.
No, it's
I
not.
want
think...
intense detail. This is the pew. Where are you
Yes.
at? So the
Why
seat
is it
here.
up? It's down. It's
You
you
knocked
lay
your
it.
pew over.
Is it a flat pew?
We're on the cushion here, friends.
So
you're on
this
the
is the
bench
pew.
part.
So
This is
Sean Lewis is on the cushion. He
Sean
probably
Lewis.
doesn't remember.
Or he really does.
Yeah.
He's like the love of my life. She's talking about
She
me again.
remembers.
We haven't spoken in a long time.
That's all he was praying for during that.
Yes. Anyways, he was rebellious, and clearly so was I. So he was like laying, and then I think I like maybe kissed him. I don't know.
So you
yeah.
were Spider-Man.
I was Spider-Man. I think.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
He was laying down and you crawled on top.
So okay. So what? At what? So at what point of the night was this?
Like daytime, I think. Not daytime, but like not bed time.
Like everyone got there, you
Everyone
put down
was
your
like-
stuff. He was on the pew and you went for it.
This was like during like the juice time because it was like make sure you get your juice because you have to stay hydrated.
Yeah.
Right, I remember.
Especially me.
I remember. Because if you lose a lot of spit,
It wasn't a makeout; it was just like a kiss.
No, I need more. I need
I
more
can't
info. So
give
he's
more.
laying down. Did he was he like, Beth, come here?
No. I think we were like.
Were you just like,
I think we were
you were just
talking.
like reading your
I think I was reading the
eyeliner?
room.
Yeah.
He was like taking a nap.
That guy could be kissed.
so he was sleeping. That's
No,
why he
that's
was
a
like
joke.
that?
He wasn't taking that. We were just like talking. I don't remember much of it except for like.
And you were just like
This is it.
on all fours above him.
This is it. This is my
Ready for
moment.
this, Sean?
I'm imagining that
Punch
I was
down.
like sitting.
Like-
Just like did a push up down on his face.
This is getting so bad.
It is
And
not.
I'm-
It's awkward in
Yeah,
middle
it was
school.
so
to the
awkward. I think I
extreme.
was probably sitting and then like leaned maybe. He probably was like,
So
what are you doing?
Or he wasn't because he was a middle school boy that was like,
Yeah.
a girl.
Yeah. I remember there was
So
a
was
lot of like couples, and I was like, I gotta get mine.
Because you're fasting. I gotta get mine. This is Bachelor in Paradise. We don't pair off. You get kicked off the island.
Sean's gonna kick me off.
You get kicked out of the famine.
So that's an awkward thing that I did.
So was this your first kiss?
I think my first kiss was with you, Sean Lewis. I'm not sure.
Talking Dave.
Either, and I remember kissing him once, like, he rode his bike, like this, I guess. Because that's how you ride a bike. And I remember, like, I maybe was on my bike, and then I think we kissed or something. Anyways.
When you're riding?
Mark, no.
You just like thrill seekers.
Yes.
Like every kiss has to like escalate.
I was on
you're
his
riding
bike.
together, have to
Sean,
like
I need more. Need to like reach
Oh,
over.
gosh. Someone's gonna send this to him. He's gonna be like, "It's all a lie. It's never happened."
I don't even remember her.
That was my backpack.
Yeah, he doesn't.
He doesn't.
Okay, so my other awkward, it's not a memory, it's just like what my life was and is till this day.
Sure.
Until this day?
Anyways.
So I used to sweat. I still sweat a lot, but I used to sweat a lot. And I, like, in middle school, apparently I was just, like, rebellious as all get out. Because I remember wearing, like, little tight shirts, being like, I'm so cute. Anyways, I remember one day, like, seeing the pit stains, and I was like, what is this? And I remember I, like, was so embarrassed that, like, to raise my hand, I would never go above, like, this. And, like, to get in my locker, I was like, I can't get the things. And, like, the more I would keep my arms down, the more I would sweat.
You would sweat.
So I was stressed about it, told my grandma, and I was like, I don't know what to do. And she suggested that I put pads in there, which could have worked.
Fun fact, though, that is a life hack that I actually use in real life.
I wish I would have
But
known.
I have to clarify. It's the really thin ones, not the big
Honkers.
fluffy ones.
Yeah. I think I imagined like a thick pad or a diaper type of situation. And I was like, Graham, how will I do that? Like, what will I do? Yeah, like
it's just like
sticking out. I think because I was maybe in a tight shirt or something. I don't know. Like, that's what was cool then, I guess. In
the 90s.
98.
Got your first kiss.
Yeah, saying this all back, I'm like, oh, you needed help, sweetie.
It was not your grandma who would offer that.
Yeah.
Right.
Anyways, so those are my awkward moments. And I still sweat, but I don't use the pads, and I will probably not try it, but...
My disclaimer is I only use it in suit jackets because they're thicker. And
what if it fell out on my lap and someone's like, you got a...
Then you just
a
be
wet diaper in your lap.
You got a panty liner in your lap?
I'm like, yep.
It's that long? Oh my.
life hack.
Yup.
I literally like surround myself in it.
Yeah, it's like a mummy.
Yeah.
I don't know if I have any. I don't have any specific moments other than just like all of that time period for me. 6th through 8th grade was just like this painful. So people had stories, especially adults, who told me later that like I would be in a big room full of people, and it's like I wouldn't ever like stand and talk to someone like a normal person. I would just kind of walk around the room nonstop and would just walk by people and just be like, hi, and then like I would leave and like go somewhere else. So it's like those many stories.
You would acknowledge like groups of
yes.
people.
It was like I needed to acknowledge all groups of people in every corner, and I would hi, and like I remember people would be like, yeah, Evan, like what, how was your week? What's going on? And I was like, it's good, and then I would just like it was just it was all I had to do, and I remember getting bullied a lot. I mean it makes sense a little bit, just a little bit, because I'm
struggling.
Even the way I'm talking right now is awkward and strange, so imagine that. But when I was awkward and strange in middle school, when I didn't know anything,
and you're around bullies,
and I was around bullies, so like I remember one time, and I can laugh about it now, but I was at a church event, of course, and I remember it was like the first time I was like 6th grade, like summer, like going into 6th grade, like starting out a little optimistic, like elementary school brained Evan was like, I'm gonna meet friends who are older, and went to this event thing. I don't even remember what it was. I have no idea what the event was. I just remember being at this like church thing, and I remember I interacted. There wasn't very many kids there. I think there's probably like 10 of them. None of them I knew. I just wanted to try this, and I just probably walked around then too and just didn't stop moving. I'm assuming. And like I remember one of the kids in particular just like found me and just like honed in. Like it was like people would be like, I'm being bullied, and I just sometimes I want to hear that and be like, you have no idea what it actually is, because it was the whole night. It was a 3-hour period, and he did not stop. And I mean, he attacked everything, and I was a chubby kid. Same. And I just like, he would make fun of like, he would be like, look at him run, and like it was terrible. It was absolutely terrible. I remember that, to the point where like towards the end of the event, other kids got in on it too, of course, because that's what happens when someone bullies. It's like everyone is like, this is funny, I'm also scared, and so I'll join. And I remember there was a moment where I was crying and they were still going. Like it was a real like life bully situation. And I remember like I let out this guttural scream from the very depths of my soul, like, quit picking on me! And like just screamed and like ran, like sobbing out of the room. This caught the attention. I assume the equivalency of like a rape whistle, caught the attention of like all the nearby adults who saw me scream and run out of the room. Yeah. And then like I remember the person in charge, the youth pastor, Judy Gregory, love you girl, she like found like this kid and then was like, what happened? And like the next thing I remember is that like my dad picked me up, and then she was talking before that. So I remember like crying. Someone went to console me, I think, who didn't know me, of course, because I was just this little whatever. And like I don't remember who it was, but I remember going back in the room and just seeing like, I don't know if you've ever witnessed like an adult like fully reaming out a child and it being justified, and like because you'll like see old parents will be like, you're being so inappropriate, when like they're not, they're just being like stupid kids. But she was like, oh man, it was probably one of my favorite memories of her, because she was just like, are you out of your mind? Like reaming into this kid, just being like, you will not do that again.
Did you
like,
smile a little right when that happened?
I think I was still like and I didn't want to go back in the room because I was scared, because I was a little kid. Yeah. And then I remember her talking to my dad about it, and then my dad, like, we had this really weird, awkward conversation on the way home, and he was just like, are you okay? And I was like, yep. I want to talk about it. And I don't think, like, I have shared this story very few times because it was just like one of those experiences, but that kid I don't think ever spoke to me again, which maybe that's fine. That's and I think he was older. I think he was like in 8th grade and was on his, possibly going into 9th grade, so he was on his way out. So I didn't have to deal with it, but I still kept going. It didn't ruin my experience. So it just was, I remember that one time. It was I remember it was the whole time.
That's terrible.
Yeah, but I was a weird kid.
But
not that I deserved it.
But we're all a little weird, you know? You don't deserve it.
Right. Yeah.
No one deserves to be bullied.
Right.
No.
What happened to you? What's weird with you?
Yeah, so if I could just put a disclaimer, like all of middle school, and maybe a little into high school. But for me, it's more of like during that period, I wore the same thing almost every day. Let me explain. So,
I gotta not like the same type of thing.
Oh no, literally
the same thing.
The same thing. So this was my typical middle school Julie outfit. First of all, would never wear pink. Would never wear a dress. Was very, very athletic, very like simple, but again, I wore so I'll just work my way down. So starting off, I grew my hair out really, really long, and then I chopped it to donate to Locks of Love, which is an incredible organization. But in order to get it was like just over 9 inches of hair, I had to chop it like right under my ears, and at the same time I was growing out my bangs. So you know the really awkward, So I was growing out my bangs, had it chopped off, but then I would slick it back into a half ponytail, like to the point where sometimes I'd sit there in class like this because it was so soft and smooth. It was slicked back.
I love that. She's like
Marvel.
I look like a cat.
But it was like that, and it was like half up, but like really tight. And so working my way down, I had like big wire glasses. I kind of had almost a unibrow going. Like I didn't know how to help them, so it was like definitely in. And
Like, eyebrows were touching, but not like
no,
unified.
but they
were high-fiving.
They were not. They were.
Hey, buddy.
It was like the God,
Hey,
the
buddy.
God and Adam painting.
Yes.
Like, almost,
The reaching
almost
out.
touching.
A little bit.
Thank you.
Yeah, I
Oh, thank you for reaching out to me,
So
Beth.
Working its way there.
Yeah.
Glasses, and then I had braces. So
Oh,
just
sweetie.
It was like the
wire
perfect storm.
metal.
And you wore the same thing.
And then I'm getting there. So my mom went to Taylor University, and she had this.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't know. Sorry, that was just.
It's a good school.
You guys.
Hi.
So Taylor University, and she had a college sweatshirt that she kept, and it was a dark navy blue sweatshirt, and just in white lettering had Taylor across the front. So I was just a really tall, skinny middle schooler, and kind of scrawny.
With
And
all the fixins on your face.
all the
all the
All the
fixins.
trappings of it.
And I was an athlete, I
Yep.
was active, but the sweatshirt was, a little baggy on me. It wasn't like form fitted, and my disclaimer is I changed the t-shirt every day.
Oh, good.
So it's not like I was, but you just never
And
saw
I showered.
the t-shirt. And I showered. I did. I
That is
showered every
good.
day, and I changed the t-shirt every day, and I did wear deodorant, but I just would wear the same sweatshirt
Yeah.
every day. And then, do you remember those like carpenter jeans?
Yeah, girl, for
Like the
sure.
loose ones with all the pockets.
Woof.
And
Deep pocket.
and yes, yes.
And you got that loop you can put that
and-
brush in. You know.
And then a pair of tennis shoes. And that was like my outfit through middle school. That was my Julie.
Ensemble.
Ensemble.
I actually used to look at girls like you and be like, she's so cool. She doesn't care at all. She's just wearing... Like, I was just like, the confidence of wearing the same thing I loved.
I also
That's
didn't wear
interesting
makeup
to me.
until high school.
Nice.
And even then, it was a slow
How early
going.
does that start? How early?
Middle school, you experiment.
Very early.
Okay.
Like sixth
I think I
grade,
was
you
fine.
definitely start.
My first day of preschool.
I asked my mom to put lipstick on me in kindergarten. But, like, in 6th grade, my mom let me do mascara and gloss only. That was, like, her rule. I was
I
like,
love you
that was very common.
and gloss only.
it feels like an intimate
That's
setting.
like a common, like, that's a good start for
Yeah,
a
for
middle
sure,
schooler.
for sure.
Mhm. I just...
Did Mark? Did you? I remember with my friends in middle school, especially towards 8th grade. Did you ever like compare deodorant?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I like remember thinking that because I remember seeing that like as an adult, like two
Right.
middle schoolers being like, "Oh, mine smells really good." Like, yeah, like sniff it. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
like, yeah, it smells really good. What do you use?
Yeah.
Like, and it being this like really cool thing.
Yes.
And now I would never do that.
Yeah, I can't remember the last time I talked to a guy and be like, "What do you put in your armpits?" I haven't done that in a while.
No.
Yeah, but like when we were at that stage, that was like the X
Yes.
stage.
Yes,
Axe
it
got
Oh my word,
sure
like the Axe
was.
bombs?
Yeah, and the
'cause I remember,
commercials.
like you go through the phase, especially as a boy,
Yeah.
like you go through the phase where like you can hear people talking about how much you smell. Like you go through the phase where you start to stink, and then you start to hear people being like, "What is that? What stinks so bad?"
Who did
It's like
this?
you pick it up, it's like, okay, I need to put on so much deodorant to
Yep.
cover whatever's happening.
Yeah.
And then you get into the phase of like,
Yeah.
are you using
I remember.
Axe Phoenix? Yeah, man.
Yes.
Just came
Yeah,
out.
I do remember.
Yeah. So you get the deodorant, and then you get the spray,
Yep.
and all of that. Yeah. I remember.
Yeah. Because was body spray a thing like before Axe? Like, did you put on like I mean, other than like
Girls
perfume
had
or
body
cologne?
spray.
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
we
we
had
did.
body spritz.
Yeah.
Body
Like Bath
spray.
and Body Works and Victoria's Secret.
And then some
Oh, yeah.
metrosexual dude was like, "I'm gonna put on some spray too. Like,
I'ma
I
do
want to
that
be
too."
cool.
You know what that would be good? Me.
some man spray."
If I smell like one of them, they'll accept me as one of their own.
Yeah, yeah.
Then I could lay down.
Maybe
in a
then I'll
church-
be happy.
I could lay down in a church pew and
Like, girl.
in.
Will Spider-Man kiss me?
Right before he laid down, he was like,
That story was all made
Except
up.
it was more like
right, exactly. Get into the car, close the door.
2 hours
Leave it on.
later.
2 hours later.
Like, 2 hours
One
later.
bottle a day.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, I didn't have like there are embarrassing moments for me, but for most of like my awkward middle school years, it's like, that was just me. That was awesome. Like, I love that doing that. I was homeschooled, so everything I did was always awkward and weird. Like, I wore sweatpants all the time, and not like cool athletic sweatpants, like the fabric weird sweatpants with the drawstring.
Oh, yeah.
and the clipped ankles. Like,
Yeah.
those like all the time. And you tuck your t-shirt in. because you're homeschooled.
Tell them about the Pokeballs.
Okay.
Sorry. Just in case you were going to forget.
Tell about the Pokeballs.
The Pokeballs.
So again, during this time, X is really big, and Pokemon is huge.
Yep.
Pokemon's exploding.
I remember.
Every middle school boy at our age does.
Uh-huh.
So at that point, McDonald's was doing their Happy Meal Pokeball prizes. So you could go to McDonald's, get a Happy Meal, and the toy was a Pokemon.
Okay.
So every day it was like, Mom, need to go to McDonald's to get the Pokemon. Every day, Mom, can we go? Like every day. and like we got to the point where we were at the McDonald's where we would go so much that they let us ask for specific toys, because if you're collecting them, like normally they just throw in a toy and you could end up getting a Pikachu twice, and it's like, no, I already have this, I want the other one.
Yep.
And they were like, we came in so much, and I was like, it's the Adkins, like whatever, they're keeping us alive because they're ordering so much food. So so I take the Pokeballs, and it comes with a little carabiner that you can clip on normally to like a belt, and I would just clip them to the side of my sweatpants. And so there's pictures of me where it's like weighing my pants down because there's just like 6 Pokemon hanging off the edge that me and my brother would just clip on and pretend to be Pokemon trainers. So
would you throw them?
yeah, we did Poke battles.
I choose you.
Pikachu, I choose you. Go,
Mom, we're gonna get to choose you. Because that was your middle school Adkins.
Yeah,
That's
100%. With my little bowl cut. And my Pokeballs.
Oh my gosh! But no one made fun of you like they did me.
That's
so nice.
Well, they did. They were just my brothers. So.
Toughen you up. I remember seeing those toys and I was like, "What would I do with this?" Like, you're dead to me.
Yeah, but do you remember when McDonald's had like girl toys and boy toys?
Yes.
Like you could choose what toy you wanted.
Oh yeah.
But the best phase with the McDonald's.
Okay, you have our attention.
No, I'm really passionate about this. The best phase that McDonald's had was the little Beanie Babies.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, that's what I collected.
Sure. My we very rarely would like go out to eat or go to McDonald's, and I remember like it was yesterday. We took the bus to and from school. So I come off the bus, and my mom comes out into the driveway, and she's like, "How would you like to go to McDonald's for dinner? I heard they have new Beanie Baby toys out," and it was like ingrained into my memory. One of my favorite memories as a kid.
Wearing your Taylor University. And your little hair slicked back.
Julie was like,
Yeah! In your braces.
I gotta get ready first.
In your braces. Yes! I do want McDonald's! For dinner!
Okay, wait, what was everyone's first Beanie Baby?
Smiley.
Smiley the what?
He was a smiley face. He was my imaginary friend as well.
Was that the
He was a
off-brand Beanie Baby?
I
superhero.
was gonna say, I don't remember.
No, he was a smiley face. So, like, you know, the smiley face. It wasn't like an emoji face, like a smiley face, just with arms and legs.
Huh.
And he was smiley, and he was my imaginary friend. And I carried him with me everywhere. I slept with him. He was a superhero, and he would sometimes I put a cape on him. And we would
love that.
fight the villains.
Fight the villains.
Fight them.
I had an imaginary friend as well, so don't worry. Mine wasn't an object. It was just there.
We need like for another podcast we need our imaginary friends because I have a story too.
Yes.
I don't know if that's really all the extent.
Same.
I had one, and this is what he was, and that's it.
Mine was Happy the Hippo.
I had an alligator. I can't remember his name. They were less important to me.
Well, then was he actually your friend if you don't
Yeah.
The
remember?
important thing so this is the important
Sounds like an
memory
imaginary
that
acquaintance.
This is the important memory I associate with him. So there was a time where this is a separate podcast topic, but like my parents were just really lax with letting us watch rated R movies or scary movies. So I remember watching. I was super young, and we watched. It's the movie where like the volcano comes up in the middle of the city. I think it's actually called Volcano.
Yes,
But
with
terrified me.
I saw this recently again. It's gonna bother me. Someone tell me what the celebrity is. The main guy that's in it. Thank you.
Yeah, but it's that movie, and it terrified me when I was a kid because I was young. Because it came out in 1996, so I was probably like 7 when I watched it. And I had nightmares that like lava was just like in our house, and I remember waking up screaming. And my dad came in with the alligator, and he was like, "This alligator is a magic alligator because it eats lava." And he like ate all the lava in my dream, and I was like, "Thanks, Dad." I went back to sleep with my alligator.
Your little sweatpants.
Never had a nightmare about it again.
That's cute.
My dad cured me.
Ray.
Good job,
Thanks,
dads.
Ray.
My first beanie was a little cat named Chip.
Oh, I
Little
remember
brown
Chip.
I remember Chip.
Chip.
Yeah, I do too.
I gave Happy the Hippo a bath, and that didn't work out
That
well.
ruined him.
Wait, but it wasn't an object.
No, Happy the Hippo was an object. My imaginary
Sorry.
friend, not an object.
Yeah. No, but I thought your imaginary friend was Happy the Hippo, but Happy the Hippo was your beanie baby.
No.
I am
Two
there.
separate people.
Now we're
I'm
tracking.
there. Two separate people.
And by people, neither of them.
Neither of them were people.
All
Yeah,
right.
that is another topic
All
for
right,
another
yes.
day.
Yeah.
Cool.
We hope
We hope your middle school experience was better.
Yes.
Than mine.
Sorry, Sean.
Bye.
Bye.